Hello, everyone. Welcome to the AKS community call today. So today we are doing the second installation of our monthly roadmap calls, where every month we are going through our publicly available roadmap and just understanding the progress on the upcoming AKS features. We are definitely excited to have you attend this session today. Today's session is being delivered by Phil Gibson. Phil is a senior product manager with AKS team, and he's been with Microsoft in various roles for over 16 years. Now, a quick minute on the housekeeping before we start. Phil, if you may move to the next slide.
Yeah, there we go.
Awesome, thank you. So this call is going to be recorded, and we are going to be later uploading it to the AKS YouTube channel for those who could not join us live today. You can subscribe to this channel by searching for at the AKS channel on YouTube. You can see the link right here on the first item. Secondly, we are excited to see you all here, but of course, we would love for you to spread the word with your friends, co-workers who are also working with AKS. We have a community calls page with AKMS link right here, ak.ms/AKS/community calls. We definitely want more broader participation from everyone across the community because the more people we have, the better the feedback, the better the community grows here. Throughout this call, all participants are going to be muted just to ensure a smooth and uninterrupted session. However, there is an option for you to ask questions during this call. If you're logged in from iOS app, you may have some trouble with the Q&A feature. We do recommend switching to a web browser if you wish to ask questions. We will also have several members of our product team on this call today who will be able to help answer your questions. If you prefer, you can ask the questions anonymously as well. All of the questions will be moderated. Lastly, we'd love to hear from you on the content that you should want to see from the AKS team going forward. Right here on the screen is the QR code. Flip up your cell phones and scan that QR code, and you should be able to start providing us with feedback on what you really want to see coming from the AKS team in terms of content. I mean, it can be you can be talking about topics of interest. You can be letting us know generally about the way you consume content. We really want to make this accessible to as many of you as possible. So we look forward for your feedback there. Well, thank you for joining us today. And we are going to get started with today's roadmap call. During the call today, we are going to be talking about AKS Labs. Several of you who have been following us on LinkedIn or are connected on LinkedIn with us would have seen this announcement come through in last few weeks. Basically, we sorry.
Yeah, no,
That's fine. Then we would go on to introduce a brand new segment, which Phil here is championing. We call that the MVP Spotlight segment. And really, that's just people like you from the community who are spreading the word about AKS, putting together some really amazing content. We want to give you a spotlight. We want to give you a stage for you to showcase that content. And we'll go through that in a little bit, in a few minutes there. And then lastly, the key purpose of the call, we do want to go through the AKS roadmap, and Phil here is going to take us through that. Phil, if you mind just going one more step.
Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, what you see here is the AKS Labs, as I mentioned before. AKS Labs is a project that we started. You do see the AKMS link there, ak.ms/AKS/labs. When you go on to this link, you would see different hands-on labs for AKS. If you have your own subscription, you can literally start following it step by step. We have several different scenarios outlined there. The scenarios run across not just the basics of how to get started with AKS. We have networking scenarios, we have security scenarios, storage, operations, and even AI. Now, as we are talking about this, we are definitely also um, putting together more and more content that's going on. That's going to be part of these labs going forward. As always, if you have any feedback on what you would like to see, we would love to hear that. I'm going to start a question Q&A thread here in the Q&A section where we would love to get your feedback on what topics you would want to see from the labs as well. So
Yeah,
that
I
being
could.
said,
Yeah, can I just add
sure.
on to that real
Yes.
quick? Second.
Yes,
Yeah,
please go ahead.
so yeah, these labs are super beneficial. Obviously, we do have documentation on the AKS docs page. Some of that documentation may be kind of siloed to specific features. What we're trying to do here is really build those end-to-end solutions that cover multiple features, et cetera. So as Sanket said, yeah, we would love to see if there's scenarios out there that you're interested into, or you're kind of struggling with certain configurations and how-tos. Give us that feedback, and let's see if we can build a lab that'll kind of expedite all the obstacles and everything. That's
Right.
it.
With
Back to
that
you,
being said,
Sanket.
Phil, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah. Let's proceed forward. So I'm really excited about this new segment that we are coming up with as part of this community call. And what we're looking to do is for those who are already MVPs or aspiring MVPs, if you're putting good quality content out there that can help the community, we would love to spotlight that content for you and drive people to either your blog or your YouTube channel. So. Uh, if you're interested in doing this, there's a link right here. It's the aka.ms AKS community content. This is a form. In fact, I'll show you what it looks like here if I can pull that up really quick. Simple form. You go to this if you want to go ahead and give us the URL and just tell us the content type. And then we'll look over that, and if it qualifies, you may be featured in a future episode of this community call. And so we're really happy to do that. Going forward, um, again, we may know that you may not be a MVP today, but again, if you are producing content, you might as well look to become an MVP. Our technology area is what's called the Azure AKS in open source. And there's some perks that you do get with being the MVP. One is you get to work alongside us here at the product group. There's special DLs that you'll get access to. You'll be able to email us. And then we also have what's called a product group interactions where, you'll be under NDA and we can really get into a lot of strategy session and the future of the platform. So it does pay well to become an MVP. And we will talk about some sessions. The MVP Summit, the Global MVP Summit is next month, end of March. I will be there along with other AKS feature PMs. So if you are an MVP, we'd love to see you there. And yeah, we got a bunch of sessions that we will probably show next month. Not all of it's kind of in stone at the point, but we got some exciting sessions for that. So again, uh, put your content in and let us showcase the work you're doing out there. So for this month, this award goes to, drum roll, Richard Hooper, aka Pixel Robots. If you don't know Richard, he has a lot of great quality content out on his blog site, and he has several great YouTube channel with several videos. The one that we're spotlighting here is he actually has a blog on optimizing AKS upgrades to improve performance and minimize disruption. It's a nice, short, sweet blog that really talks about all the components that you should be aware of to kind of keep everything running with your AKS cluster as far as upgrades and everything. So please check that out and view a lot of other Richard's content because he does a lot. So congratulations there, Richard. And again, we hope to celebrate those in the future here in the next several roadmap calls. All right. So with that, now we're going to get down to business. Again, we're going to go through the roadmap. Again, we just want you all to be aware of, we're going to state some timelines. These are estimates. Again, we're dealing with software and actually AKS, we're also a customer to the actual overall Azure platform. So there's some things that are kind of out of our control. But again, these estimates are in good faith. And, if anything changes, we will actually update you on those. This will probably be the last slide that we talk about. This is just the overall process that we're going to go through. But I think most people, if you're working with Kanban boards and other type of project boards, this should be pretty easy to follow. So first thing, we will kind of touch on everything that's either being retired or deprecated. So you know that up front and you can make plans for that. And then next, again, we're going to move right to left with the project board. We're going to highlight everything that's gone GA. Then we'll talk about things that are in public preview, provide any updates on timeframes for those. And then lastly, we'll talk about new features that are emerging. This is the in progress column. And this is in development, and this is much further down the line, but we actually do want to just kind of notify the community of things that they're working on for the platform. Okay, so next, small list here. The only thing that we really have is we will be deprecating Kubernetes version 1.28. So if you do have a cluster on that, we would recommend that you do kind of upgrade to the next minor version so that you can stay in the upgrade process. Again, if you do stay on this as it's deprecated, then obviously you do kind of fall out of support and things start to get really tricky for you to do your upgrade. So we do want to notify everyone of that version of Kubernetes that is being deprecated. And with that, we will now go to the project board, and I'm going to come off camera and then we will move things over here. And for those following along, we do encourage that you go to the link and follow along with us. We did get some feedback as far as this being a little tough to follow, but I'm going to try my best to keep hovering over the items that we are talking about. And again, just give us your feedback on that experience. So we're going to start off. We did deprecation. We're going to start off with our GA items. So that's our GA column right here. First thing up is item 2090. This is please provide functionality through the API to force drain node pool. So again, this is GA now. There's an API that allows you to now drain your node pool very easily. Next up, we have item 4101. This is dealing with fleet. So multi-cluster upgrades should respect the AKS maintenance windows. If you're familiar with fleet, it's kind of a parent-child relationship. You have your hub cluster, and then you also have your managed clusters under that. With fleet, you can do upgrades. This will essentially say if you do invoke those upgrades through fleet, we're going to respect the maintenance windows that you actually have on the child clusters there. So, it won't update outside of those maintenance windows hours that you've set. So that is GA. Next up, we have 3520. This is delete specific nodes via an ARM call. And this is pretty self-explanatory there. We have an API now that you can actually delete a node from the node pool. The other that we probably want to chat about real quick is we actually did move this over to the archive, but this is GA as well, again, dealing with fleet. This is the Kubernetes resource propagation overrides. Again, if you're familiar with fleet can actually propagate out configurations, all those Kubernetes objects. This will help in scenarios where you have things that are maybe specific to clusters that live in certain regions. maybe they're pulling from a certain registry, et cetera. And you will be able to use environment variables to have things keep state or change state. So again, this just won't blow away your configuration for clusters in different environments, regions, configurations, et cetera. And last that we're going to talk about, we did talk about the deprecation notice there. Item 4701. So this is the draft templates updates. This basically updates the templates to be able to target other Kubernetes objects such as pod distribution budgets, readiness, liveness probes, affinity rules, etc. So that is all GA. And that's it for that column. We'll now move to our biggest column here we got to talk about, which is everything that's happening currently in public preview. And we will start from, let's see, again, this is pretty big column. We won't touch on all of them. In fact, I probably touched on some of these last month. And so if there's no change, I won't mention them here. If there is a change, I will do an update on those. So let's see, let's go through this. Item 4535, this is the Azure Linux 3.0 support for AKS. This is available with Kubernetes version 1.30, and this will actually become the default when we move to version 1.31. So this will be the default image. And some other things that are happening is we're also working on the ARM64 and FIPS images as well. So that's coming down the pipeline as well for that. We look to, this is probably trending this quarter of this year, so Q1 2025. We should see this move into GA. Next up, just going to go through some of these. Let's talk about the skip GPU driver installation. So this is 4623. This is pretty self-explanatory. This allows you to skip the default GPU driver and allows you to install your own GPU operator to handle those tasks. This is probably more Q2 timeframe. So this is probably several months out, but we're tracking for Q2 for this. Next up, we have the GA for the message of the day in Kubernetes/ARM. So this is item 3742. This is all about you being able to customize images when you log into nodes. This is going to be Q2 timeframe. Next, we have I think we touched on this last month, but we do have some updates. This is the seccomp default and custom node configuration. This basically enables the seccomp profiles by default, and that restricts some nasty syscalls that could happen there. This is Q2. We're tracking Q2 still for this. Install custom CA truss, item 2259. This is almost done. This will probably be end of Q1 of this year. And next up, we have item 4505, update GPU driver type for Windows GPU. This is another Q2 kind of time frame where that's tracking there. AKS Communication Manager, item 4098. This allows you to, this provides timely notifications for maintenance things that are initiated. This is still in work. We will probably say this is going to be the first half of this year. So that's going to be roughly around Q2 as well. Let's see which one else we can talk about here. Okay, yeah, this restrict traffic to the IMDS endpoints. This is item 4037. This is all about if you know about the instance metadata service here. there's an endpoint where you can do some administrative things. This will be able to block those endpoints, and this is probably again the Q2 H1 thing that we're on track for. This is a little delayed due to we're just validating add-ons that actually have dependencies for this. So once we kind of flush out that and then provide some documentation on which add-ons this does affect, then you can make a choice if you want to use this or not. And so again, this is going to be H1 timeframe for those. Next, we got item 3516, cordon blocked nodes and proceed with upgrade. This is a scenario where nodes can get blocked if you run into drain timeouts, and then what this will happen is this will just move on to other nodes, to finish that out. This is a Q2 timeframe, so again, April to June, we should see this go GA. Item 4638, static egress gateway. This lets you create a static egress gateway for your node pool. You can annotate your pods to send traffic. This is a Q2 timeframe as well. So what's good is a lot of this stuff is actually landing in Q2 and before the second half of this year. So we're moving pretty fast on a lot of these in this column. Next up, this is AKS supporting two new outbound types, none and blocked. So this is item 4351. Again, this is managing the egress traffic from the cluster and being able to use these new types. Let's see here, I'm just checking my notes here. Yeah, this is again Q2 timeframe. And again, this is also could affect some add-ons as well, especially if you are in some disconnected scenarios where add-ons that don't actually work in those scenarios. So we are looking into either like guidance and things of that nature. But yeah, this is still tracking Q2 of this year. And let's see, we got item 4477. This is the Azure CNI overlay, dual stack Windows support. So again, this is going to be able to offer both IPv6 and v4 on Windows. And this is really close. This is actually in our kind of launch review portion of being deployed to GA. So we will probably say, yeah, this is a safe bet that we'll see this in Q2 of this year. And next up, let's talk about this one. Item 4397. This is the service allowed IP ranges. Again, this will allow you to define the ranges and labels without having to use like only service tags or IP ranges. This again is really close. This is actually in launch review as well. So we're tracking this for Q2 of this year. Next, we have 3464. This is Windows Exporter. This basically is going to enable you to access those Windows metrics and send those off to Prometheus. We are tracking this to be Q2 as well. So again, that's the theme. A lot of this stuff is moving fast in this column. Next up, we have the item 3945. This is Windows Server Annual Channel on AKS. Again, this is a kind of like the non-LTS version. This channel here is really provides a lot of feature updates for containers. So so if you are running Kubernetes, this works really, really well. This is in the Q2 timeframe as well. So we should see this again from that April to June timeframe this year. I think we chatted about AKS Automatic, so 4301. This is, we're still working on this. Obviously, this is a big undertaking. This is probably trending more the latter part of Q2. So we are aiming for H1 release of this. But again, things can happen. But yeah, for now, right now, I think we're safe to say first half of this year, we should probably see this. Could possibly bleed over into Q3, but we're working hard to try to get this out the door soon. Let's see, the next up we have one of the early items here, item 688. This is image integrity on AKS. This deals with being able to use the content trust from ACR, and we're tracking Q2 for this year as well. Next, we have item 2691, deployment safeguards. Again, this is where we have a bunch of best practice safeguards as you deploy AKS and operate it. This we're hoping to have first half of this year, so probably bleeding into the Q2 timeframe. But yeah, we look to be tracking well on getting this out. All right, let's see which one we got next. Yeah, we can talk about this one. This is item 3602, expose control plane metrics. This allows the metrics endpoint for the API server to be able to be scraped by Azure Monitor and sent over to Prometheus and ultimately graphed with the managed Grafana. This we're tracking. It was probably roughly 3 to 4 months of work left. So we'll call this H1 for this year. And that, again, that'll roughly be Q2. We're hoping to have this done. Let's see. Next up, we have item 3944. This is the Azure CNI Pods subnet static block allocation. This allows you to do prefixes for your routing. For those that know that there is like this 64,000 limit with the CNI for the VNet scalability, and this will allow you to exceed that using these prefixes. This is actually moving pretty fast. We're in launch review, and so we're going to tag this as a Q2 for GA as well. Next up, let's talk about the pod sandboxing. So this is item 3396. You understand this provides an isolation boundary between your container application and the shared kernel and those compute resources on the node. This is tracking for Q2 of this year as well. There's some implementation details that we're still trying to iron out. One is, nested virtualization versus layered images. Once we kind of figure out which one is the best, we'll get this going. But this is still on track for Q2 of this year. Next, we have item 3209. So this is automatic host port assignment. As you know, a host port can only be used by one pod at a time. This will allow you to assign a range via an environment variable. So again, this will make it very flexible for different ports that you're hosting. We're on schedule for this for Q2. Believe Q2 for that. Yeah, Q2 H1 timeframe. So yeah, I think we're safe to say that. Next up, we have item 3395. This is the node resource group lockdown. This basically stops you from shooting yourself in the foot. We will kind of put a read-only setting on the resource group that has all of your infrastructure there. This is set for Q2 this year, so it should be coming out here pretty soon. Let's see, item 3519. This is the expose the node API. So again, this will provide an API for you to do node management tasks. This is moving fast. This is actually in launch review. So This is actually going to be a Q1 thing, so this should be here pretty soon. This will probably GA the next time we have this meeting, but this is moving pretty fast. Let's see which other ones we can chat about here. Let's talk about this fleet. So item 4102, again, this is fleet. So this is multi-cluster upgrades, should support auto update. And so this will, we're looking at Q2 timeframe for this. Yeah, don't have any other notes on that, but yeah, this is going to be Q2. This is tracking for Q2 for that one. Let's see, I think we touched on VNet integration last call. So this is item 2729. This will probably not be a blanket GA, which means available in all regions day one. This will probably be more of a regional rollout. This is just because there's network needs, and we have to ensure that in each region all those network needs and configurations are met. So with that said, we'll probably see some of this start to propagate out as being available in some of the regions, probably Q2. So we'll call that H1. And then again, it'll just be kind of a rollout as soon as we know that the networks can support it in all regions. Next, let's got going on. We talked about initialization taints. Again, this allows you to taint your nodes using kubelet at the startup. This is a H1, so Q2 timeframe that we're tracking on this. The Q proxy IPVS support. So this is item 1846. This is the IP virtual server. So this is used by kube proxy to route traffic to the backends of your pods. I think this is going to be much later. Not sure this will make H1, but this might bleed into the second half of this year, but I'd have to double check on this. Okay, we'll update on this next time. Sorry about that. Let's see, what else can we chat about here? We're nearing the end. Artifact streaming, item 3928. So again, this will definitely help with, if you're having long pool times, for your pods as you do your deployments. There's a lot of work that needs to go into this, especially on the Windows side. There's actually some file system updates that the Windows operating system needs. So this is most likely a second half of this year. So we're looking at least Q3 and possibly Q4 of 2025 for that. Let's see, item 2712, Carpenter support for cluster auto scaling. This we're tracking. This is moving fast, so this is either going to be Q1, Q2 as the latest. So we're moving pretty fast on getting this enabled and out for GA. Next, let's see which one I want to chat about here. So Cato, item 3976. Again, if you're not familiar with Cato, this is an operator that lets you kind of fully automate, your GPU SKUs, plugins, and tune your models. This is actually dependent on Carpenter here, so these are kind of tied. So they're roughly in the same time frame. So we're thinking again, Q1 at the earliest. Most likely, we're looking at a Q2 GA for these. And let's see which ones we want to chat about here. Item 4350. So this is virtual machine node pool. This basically this is going to allow you to have different VM types in your node pool there. This is actually moving pretty fast. This is going to be hopefully available this quarter, so Q1, this time frame, and we feel pretty confident about that. Let's chat about item 3416. So this is configure app routing ingress with a private internal load balancer during the cluster create. This is actually moving pretty fast too. This has been a pretty popular request. So we're looking at Q1 for this to happen. Okay. See if there's anything else we can chat about here. Yeah, I guess we'll end it off with this one. So item 4794, so AC Store metrics, availability, and managed Prometheus. This is the Azure Container Storage sending metrics to AZMon and Prometheus. This is on track for Q2, so you'll be able to have those insights here soon. And I think that's really all the major updates that we have in this column. Again, if I've missed one that you're interested in, please feel free to post that in chat, and we can kind of address it there. But with that said, I think we're done with public preview, and we will move over into our in progress items. So these are things that are features that are in development, and so they're much further out from being GA. Let's see. So we don't have too many of these we can talk about. Some of these are still very early in development, but we will highlight the ones that are moving here. We'll start off with item 4591. So this is to expand the Azure CNI overlay pod CIDR after cluster creation. Again, this scenario is if you may have painted yourself in a corner, didn't make your CIDR block big enough to support all the pods that you need to have running. This will allow you to expand that. So don't really have a time frame on it, but just want to let everyone know we are working on this, and this is probably at least 6 months out. So let's say H2 of this year. And if I have anything more specific, I'll share that in an upcoming call here. Next, item 4223. So support for AMD GPUs in addition to NVIDIA's. Yeah, this is work that we know is needed, but yeah, this is probably 6 months plus out. So we're tracking this at like H2 of this year, but it is being developed. Let's see. Next, item 4700. So container D 2.0 support in AKS. This is container D is a runtime. So this exists right now in Azure Linux 3.0, and this should be working on this being available in Ubuntu 24. And so no strong dates on this, but this is in flight. And if we have anything else, if we have any more updates on this, we will update this item for you all. Can talk about support for user namespaces. So item 3949. Again, it's more on the security side. This is going to limit, processes as a user in the container from executing things on the host. And so again, we are working on this. No real time frame on this, but if we get an update, we will update this. Let's see which other ones we can chat about here. Things that moved around on the board. Okay, let's talk about this one. So item 4786, so CVM. for Ubuntu 24.04. So this is dealing with confidential VMs. And so currently those are only supported in Ubuntu 20.0 to be exact. And so we are working on Ubuntu 24.04 to support that. And don't have a good date on this. I don't want to speculate. So, but this is in flight. And so if you're using confidential VMs, and you wish to have 24/4, we are working on that. Let me kind of get to some other ones that I have at least some dates that we can somewhat share here. Let's see, 4272. So this is the Service Health Probe improvements. We're just waiting on some additional Windows changes for parity here. And so once Windows kind of catches up, this will move fast. So again, no dates because this is a separate team that's handling that. But once that happens, this will probably move much quicker and get into a public preview. We have try this ones that we definitely do have some tracking on. Let's see, 4470. So this is managed Istio egress gateway support. Um, this will, we talked about the static egress gateway. This will integrate with that. We should see preview in Q2 of this year. So that's coming up. Item 4479. This is moving the CADA version up. This is something to be aware of if you are using CADA. There's some breaking changes in 2.15. We are looking to preview this in Q2. That might be all of them that we can chat about. Item 4648, so KMS support, auto key rotation. There's a lot of development that needs to happen here. Obviously, when you're dealing with the certificates and rotations, et cetera, and keys, there's a lot of coordination that needs to happen. This is at minimum 6 months out, so we're tracking this. This is going to be something that we'll see kind of move into preview the second half of this year. Chat about that last call. 4704 VHD caching. Again, this allows you to cache those VHD images, helps with performance and scaling. This is still under development. I would say this is still a ways out. We're moving into preview. And I think the last one we could probably give an update on is item 3673, support node local DNS cache. This is a feature that improves your cluster DNS performance. Basically runs a DNS caching agent on the cluster nodes as a daemon set. Lot of work here. This is probably going to be a H2. So this is at least 6 months out before we'll start to see that move into preview. Think we have anything else we can? I think I might have missed one that was around. I think some of this has probably moved around, so I'm just going to type one in that I know we have an update for. So The managed domains and SSL certificates for app routing. So this is item 4650. This we're tracking around MS build timeframe. And so, yeah, we're looking at Q, Q2, Q3 for this to be moved into preview. All right, I think that is it. Those are all the updates that we have on the roadmap. Again, I would encourage those, again, we do broadcast this out on GitHub. And, again, if you have any issues or questions, you can actually go to the actual AKS repo and post your issues here. These issues do stream in pretty frequently. But again, this is a way for you to connect with us. We do triage all of this. And again, we have a couple of boards here, one for fleet and obviously the public AKS board there. So really would encourage you to get very familiar with our repo, and you can start to interact with us. That's all I have, Sanket. I don't know if there's any questions that we can answer or have been answered. I can't see the chat.
Yeah, I can go through a few of them. I think some of them were answered on the chat, and there are a few that are still pending. One is if there is anything on works on dual stack and Calico with or Azure Network Policies.
I'm sorry,
And
say it again. I didn't hear it all. Calico with dual stack? Was that the question?
dual stack and Calico, yes.
Um, yeah, I don't think we have our network PM on the call. I can't
Yeah,
answer that. Yeah.
uh, which is fine. There is also a question around eBPF based monitoring to get disk perf metrics of a node. And just for everyone on the call, if we are unable to answer the questions here or we do not have the right PMs on the call right now, we will make sure that we get these answers and do more or less like a appendix to this call when we record these on YouTube. So definitely, as you put your questions here, they're not going unheard. We are definitely making sure that we are looking into those and getting back to you.
Yeah, especially if you
Uh,
have a question that is related to an issue, it'd be nice to just give us the issue number as well. I'm just looking for Calico. I don't see anything specific like over here. No, this is already G8. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, again, if your question is associated with a item, please reference that item in the chat. If not, um, you possibly could create an item if you want to get a question answered. So sorry to cut you off there, Second.
no, that's fine. And then the other question that is not yet answered is around the AGC add-on, if there is a timeline for the AGC add-on.
Um, I don't have an answer. I don't want to give anything false there. Yeah, we'll get back to that one. Yeah, man, it's not on the call. Yeah, don't have an answer yet, but we'll follow up with that one.
Yep, absolutely. So I think those were the only three outstanding questions per se. There has been a lot of feedback on the labs in the Q&A as we had that discussion
Okay.
going. So
Yeah.
really appreciate all of you providing that feedback. We will be looking at that. There was some feedback around BCDR scenarios as well. And we just wanted to highlight that we have a lab for fleet, which does deal with the multi-cluster and multi-region scenarios. So we can definitely look at extending that out for the BCDR scenarios as well. But we really appreciate all of the feedback here on the lab content.
Yeah, keep those scenarios, ping us with the scenarios you want to see. Um, we're going to be bolstering up that site big time here in the next several months.
Yep, sounds good. All right. If there are any other questions, we can take that for next few minutes. This one coming in. We noticed there was an update to control plane last week. Do we provide updates and planned updates in Azure portal?
Updates from things that are listed on the roadmap.
The control plane updates, do we provide them as planned updates in the Azure portal?
Um, no, as far as like seeing a message or anything like that, I don't think we do that in the portal. Those updates most likely will be here in one of our issues and then presented on the board as far as the state that it's in.
Okay.
If he could reference particular issue that it might be tied to, we can probably give an update, but if not, we can follow up.
Absolutely. There is also one quick request for everyone as you're providing feedback on the labs. If everyone can just take a look at the Q&A, specifically on the lab feedback, and give us like an upvote or a downvote on some of the feedback that has been provided, it'll definitely help us prioritize that as well.
Yeah, and again, just know the lab is built on GitHub, so that's basically a GitHub page that you're interfacing with. But I only mention that because feel free to file an issue. We're asking for scenarios. So again, if you don't see a scenario there listed that you think will be beneficial, feel free to create an issue and we'll track that.
Right, sounds good. Um, I don't think we have any other new questions coming in. There has been a really good discussion around ACR, one of the ACR scenarios as well, in the chat. If you guys are working with ACR, be sure to check that out. Right, so with that said, I think if we do not have any other questions, we can probably wrap up this call. And really thank you everyone for joining the call today. As we said, there are outstanding questions. We will go through them. We'll get you the answers and add that as an appendix to this call before we upload this to YouTube. The upload to YouTube should be out sometime next week. We also did miss another announcement here. We are going to be starting an APAC version of this call, which should happen during the APAC working hours. We are trying to cover working hours from between India to New Zealand, and that announcement should come really soon. So definitely stay tuned on all the socials there. You should hear from us very soon on that announcement.
Yep, and just quick shout out again to Richard Hooper. He's our spotlight of this month in February. So again, congrats, Richard. And I hope to see many more people that we can go ahead and spotlight if you're making good content out there. So thank you all.
Awesome. Thanks all. Take care, everyone. Bye.